What's up, guys? Agent Crab Plays here. Welcome back to another live stream. And on today's live stream, we are going to be continuing reading Master Slayer's story. And we are on part 8 of reading the Crystal Ark, chapter 1. And we are on part 4 for chapter 1. So, before we get started, I need you guys, please like, comment, share, and subscribe. And have yourselves a great day. Anyways, let's get started with this live stream, you guys. Part 4, Rise of Cole's Plan. Oh my god, it's gonna be good. And hold up, guys, a little heads up. When I get done reading all of chapter 1, I will give my thoughts on chapter 1, and then yeah, we'll go from there. But yeah, let's start reading. In the quiet, unassuming town, the once forgotten Cole sat at a small table in the center of the bustling square, sipping tea from a delicate porcelain cup. The townspeople move about nervously, casting uneasy glances his way. With a lazy wave of his hand, Cole summoned a servant to refill his cup, a smirk playing on his lips. "This little domain bends to me nicely," he murmured, his voice low and edged with purpose. "It's a perfect canvas for the chaos I'm about to paint, whatever form it takes." Savoring the final drop of tea, the warmth of power coursed through him as he leaned back in his chair, eyes lidded in content. Oh my god, I can't pronounce that. Contempted. But then a sharp, unsettling sensation crawled through his mind like a faint, insistent ringing. His smirk faltered, setting the empty cup down with a soft clink. Cole grasped his cane, using it to push himself to his feet. His eyes narrowed as he scanned the surroundings, trying to pinpoint the source of the disturbance, as something was amiss. Now what could that be? He muttered under his breath, his tone darkening as he began to move the cane, tapping oh my god, oh crap, rhythmically on the cobblestones. Cole winced as a sudden sharp pain shot through his head. "Ugh, damn it, what the hell is this?" He growled, frustration dripping from every word, clutching his temples. As the pain intensified, his vision blurred and strange shadowy images began to swirl in his mind. But suddenly a vision overtook him. A dark, ominous figure with piercing red eyes stared at him from within the shadows. The figure's gaze was unrelenting, filled with a malevolence that sent a chill down Cole's spine. "What was that?" Cole gasped as the vision abruptly ended. As he staggered to his feet, shaken, Harold, Cole's loyal bodyguard, hurried over, concern etched on his face. "Are you alright, sir?" "Yeah, I'm fine," Cole replied, though his voice wavered. "Just had a strange hallucination, I guess." Harold retrieved Cole's cane and handed it to him. "Here you go, sir. Is there anything else you need?" Cole took the cane, nodding in appreciation. "Thank you, Harold. You're a good man, but I don't need anything right now. I'm just glad you come to my assistance even when I'm hurting." "I do my best to serve you, sir," Harold replied with a respectful nod. But then his tone grew serious. "Sir, it was really necessary to kill that boy's mother." Silence. Cole's expression darkened, his voice low, almost hollow. "I didn't mean to shoot her. The gun just went off. Her son, he made things worse. He attacked me, lashed out without thinking, but she wouldn't tell me why. She took my cane. Maybe it meant something to her, something sentimental to her. Her grandmother's, perhaps, I don't know." His gaze flickered, calculating, his tone calm, too calm, but she wasn't clear with me. Kept dodging my question, so I pulled the gun on her just to make her talk, nothing more. His fingers tapped idly against the table, a slow, deliberate rhythm. Then her son stormed in all fire and fury, twisting everything, painting me as the villain. A pause. His lips curled into something that wasn't quite a smile. Funny how things spiral, isn't it? As Cole spoke, his words were smooth, almost convincing, but beneath the surface, something lurked, a plan unfolding in the shadows. Even Harold wouldn't see it coming. "Good thing your power saved you from that punch," Harold remarked, a hint of amusement in his voice. "Yeah, it hurt, but he managed," Cole said, rolling his shoulder. A slow smirk crept onto his face. "I've been testing these powers for years." I've been testing these powers for years, pushing himself, getting stronger, but even then, every time I use them, something inside me hurts. His fingers graze, his scalp, oh my god, crap, wait, there's a person on the stream. I don't know who's on the stream right now, but, how do I spell that word? Crap. Mindly lost my hair because of it. Overuse, most likely the price of power. His smirk deepened, but his eyes held something else, something darker, and yet I can't stop. Harold hesitated before asking, "Sir, where did you get your powers anyway?" Cole's eyes darkened, his voice quiet but sharp. "It's a long story. I had a partner once. We studied artifacts, uncovered things no one else dared to. Then we found it, a red crystal. The moment I touched it, I felt something different, like I finally mattered, like it wasn't nothing. But power doesn't come without a price. I got shot, right in the bone. Medics patched me up, but the pain wasn't what stuck with me. It was a realization without power, I was nothing again, forgotten and left behind. Glovin had hidden something from me. He left his key behind, so I took it. That's when I found the staff, the one I hold now. It gave me power, but only while I had it. Mind control, just one of its gifts, but it's not about control. It's about making sure no one ever pushes me aside again, and that I won't let it happen again." "So your powers came from that staff?" Harold asked, his curiosity evident. Cole's eyes narrowed, his tone steady. 3 abilities to precise. "I knew Glovin was hiding something like this. He's been keeping secrets from me for years. There are other heroes out there, ones I don't know about yet, but I will. I'll uncover everything." "What else did you find in that room?" Harold pressed, leaning forward. Cole's gaze grew distant, his voice dropping to a low murmur. There was a lot, but I only took the staff. If I'd taken everything, they would have hunted me down without hesitation. So this power didn't just appear out of nowhere?" Harold questioned, his brow furrowing. "No," Cole replied firmly, eyes hardening. Well, had to come from somewhere, from something. Glovin knew about it, and he never told me." Harold nodded slowly. "You're right, Glovin's definitely hiding something." Cole's expression grew colder, a hint of fury in his eyes. "Exactly, and I'm going to find out exactly what he's been keeping from me. As much as Harold loves to assist me, I'll use him against the others. He's excellent at it, but he'll never know my true goals. No one will. I'll keep feeding them false plans, layering one after the other, so the real ones..." Hold on, guys. "So the real one stays buried, they'll never see it coming." Cole grinned darkly, flipping through the small book he'd stolen from the kid. "And this little book is perfect. He's going to realize something eventually, but not yet, not until I want him to." He chuckled to himself, his smile widening as if he were part of something much bigger. 5 days later, Richard got ready for the funeral, his thoughts heavy as he joined his father and sisters. They made their way through their hometown of Chester, a small community he always felt a duty to protect. As they walked, Richard's eyes scanned the streets, searching for anyone who might need help. He'd been doing this a lot lately, finding ways to give back, to be useful. As they approached the small house, Richard noticed an elderly man struggling to lift a fridge into his home. The appliance tethered, threatening to fall in an instant. Richard moved, catching the fridge with one hand. It could crash to the ground. Before it could crash to the ground, the old man, Otis, turned and looked at him, relief watching over his face. "Oh, thank you, sir. This thing's heavy," Otis said, his voice full of gratitude. "No problem, sir. I'm just doing what I can to help out," Richard replied with a kind smile. "You're a good person. Then what's your name?" Otis asked. "My name is Master Slayer," Richard said, deciding to embrace a persona that had become a part of him. "Interesting name," Otis mused. "Well, if you like it, I like it too." Richard carefully moved the fridge into Otis's small home, setting it exactly where the old man had directed. Otis, his gnarled hands trembling slightly, offered Richard a $20 bill in gratitude, but Richard shook his head and gently pushed the bill back toward him. "Thank you, but I think you should keep it," Richard said, his voice warm but firm. Otis smiled, but his eyes were insistent. He pressed the bill back into Richard's hand with a knowing look. "No, you keep it around here. We repay kindness. It's just what we do. Well, some of us anyway," he said with a wink. Richard hesitated for a moment, then accepted the money with a small smile. "Thanks, I appreciate it." Otis nodded his voice softening with warmth. "You're welcome. Have a nice day, Master Slayer." Richard turned to leave, but then something made him stop. He glanced back at Otis, his curiosity piqued. "Before I go, how's life?" Otis sighed, looking around his modest home as he absently adjusted a chair. "It's alright, just fixing up the place a bit. How about you?" Richard hesitated before answering, feeling the weight of his emotions press against his chest. "It's tough," he admitted, his voice quieter now. "I'm trying to get used to these powers and figuring out how to help people, but sometimes I struggle with it. I just want to do good things." Otis' gaze softened, his voice calm and reassuring. "You can do whatever you need to, as long as it's right. Don't let people bring you down. Life's short. Give it your fullest." Richard felt a warmth spread through him at the old man's words, a feeling of clarity. "Thanks, man. You're a good person." "Otis, I won't ever forget you," he said, raising his hand in a wave. With one last look, Richard stepped outside his helmet now in his hand. He glanced at the gadgets integrated into his suit, marveling at how they fit together so seamlessly. "I can't believe this crystal made it exactly how I imagined," he muttered to himself, the reflection of his thoughts visible in the gleam of his suit. "It looks just like the sketches I drew back at the house." For a moment, Richard stood there, lost in his own thoughts, the weight of his responsibility setting in on him. Once more, the crystal, its power, its potential, felt like both a gift and a curse, something he needed to control before it controlled him. But for now, it felt like he had taken another step toward understanding his place in all this. As Richard walked down the street, a sudden explosion shattered the calm. His instincts kicked in, and he sprinted toward the source. When he arrived, the store lay in ruins, debris scattered, smoke rising. 2 people were injured on the ground, one already lifeless. His chest tightened, but there was no time to hesitate. He rushed forward, scooping up the injured without a second thought. Their shallow breaths told him they didn't have long. "Hang in there," he muttered under his breath, lifting them into the air. The flight to the hospital was quick, but every second felt stretched. As soon as he landed, nurses and doctors rushed out. Nurses and doctors rushed out, taking them from his arms. One of them, a woman with tired eyes, placed a hand on his arm. "You got them here just in time," she said, already moving to help. Richard gave a small nod, then turned and shot back toward the scene. As he landed near the wreckage, a strange tingling sensation crept over him. Something was off. He wasn't alone. His eyes scanned the area, narrowing when he spotted a figure looking in the shadows. "That guy. Did he do this?" the robber muttered to himself, pacing. Damn it. I knew this was a bad idea, and now there's some kind of robot after me." Richard smirked. "Robot, huh?" Before the robber could react, Richard vanished in a blur. The man barely had time to flinch before Richard reappeared in front of him, gripping his shirt. "Let me guess," Richard said, tilting his head. "You thought this would be easy? A simple in-and-out job? No one would notice?" The robber's eyes darted around, panic setting in. "Look, man, it wasn't supposed to go like this," Richard scoffed. "It never is." Without another word, he knocked the man out with a swift punch and carried him to the authorities, dropping him off like discarded trash. Clueless," Richard muttered as he turned back to survey the damage. "Better keep my guard up. These things don't feel right." As he stepped over the wreckage, a faint hissing noise caught his attention. His gaze locked onto a gas leak right near a fuel dispenser. His eyes widened. "Oh no. Oh, that's not good." The second the thought crossed his mind, the gas ignited. A massive explosion erupted, fire roaring toward him. Instinct took over. He raised his hand as the flames vanished, absorbed. Richard blinked, staring at his palm. He didn't feel burned. Instead, a strange heat pulsed within him. "What the?" He flexed his fingers, feeling the energy coursing through them. His mind raced. This wasn't normal. He hesitated for a moment before aiming at a pile of rubble. The second he focused, a burst of fire shot from his palm, scorching the ground. He took a step back, breathing heavily. "Okay, that's new." His thoughts spun. The crystal was this it's doing? It consumed fire. Could it absorb other types of energy too? Electricity, lightning, shadows? That last thought made him pause. "The shadow," he muttered. If his theory was right, if the crystal could consume more than just fire, maybe he had a way to fight back. Maybe, just maybe, he could use this against the darkness creeping into a city. It was a long shot, a risk, but it was worth trying. Richard clenched his fist, determination burning brighter than ever. Guess I'll find out soon enough. With that, he took off, a new plan forming in his mind. Richard soared through the city, his mind a swirl of thoughts that he took a moment to stop for a quick drink. His phone buzzed, suddenly pulling him out of his thoughts. He pulled it out quickly, scanning the message from his friend. Yo, what's going on? Richard began typing, his confusion mounting as he felt a strange presence again, only this time it was stronger, much bigger. He froze for a moment, his senses alert something was coming. Yeah, people are saying a meteor is headed our way. We gotta hide or something. Anthony's message appeared on the screen, the urgency in his words clear. Richard's eyes widened, his heart picking up speed. Yeah, I heard. Wait, hide. Buddy, you are gonna die if you hide. Kayla's response followed, filled with concern. Oh yeah, my bad. Anthony quickly typed back, likely realizing the severity of the situation. Richard's phone buzzed again. Hey Richard, could you help us with that? You have super strength, right? Caleb asked, his words carrying a note of desperation. Richard felt the weight of his powers pressed against him. I mean, I don't know if I can, but I can try, he replied, uncertainty creeping into his voice. The idea of lifting a meteor, it seemed almost impossible. Damn it, this shit's gonna hurt. I just got done stopping someone, but now this? Richard thought to himself as he hovered high above the city, staring at the sky where the meteor was predicted to strike. Lifting a meteor? You gotta be kidding me. Maybe it's small, but deep down he knew it wouldn't be, and even though he wasn't sure if he couldn't let his friends down. Not now. Not when the city needed him the most. Richard took a deep breath, focusing. He needed to get there before it was too late. Every second counted. Richard put his helmet back on and scanned the sky. His heart sank as he spotted a meteor hurtling toward the town. What the fuck? It's that big? Okay, now this is not what I expected. How did this meteor get here so fast? Besides the point, I need to save these people from it. Here goes nothing, he questioned, trying to understand. He soared into the sky, determined to stop the disaster. The news channels broadcasting the impending doom, but Richard pressed on, reaching the meteor just in time. He pushed against it with all his might, strongly at first, but eventually he managed to halt its descent, deciding to send it back where it came from. Richard flew higher into space. His suit allowed him to breathe, and he marveled at the stars and planets around him with a powerful punch. He shattered the meteor into harmless debris, floating in the vastness of space. Richard took a moment to revive the view. Oh Jesus, this is kinda cool, Richard whispered, his eyes wide as he floated in the vast emptiness of space. Stars stretched endlessly around him, their distant glow reflecting off his skin. Seeing space in person, it feels weird but good. For a moment he just drifted, soaking in the surreal silence, but then a realization hit him. Wait, am I breathing in space? His chest tightened as panic flickered through him. He quickly checked himself, taking a slow, steady breath, no oxygen check. Yeah, he was fine. He let out a small laugh, still processing. Guess this crystal's keeping me alive. His lips curled into a smirk. Richard turned, gazing out into the endless expanse. Maybe I should explore a bit. Wouldn't hurt, would it? He began to explore, flying through the stars until a bright light caught his attention. As he drew closer, he realized it was a crystal similar to the one he possessed. Confused, he reached out, but before he could touch it, an unknown force yanked him away, hurling him toward the moon. He crashed hard, leaving a deep crater in the lunar surface. Ugh! What the hell? Who did that? Richard groaned. Standing and looking around, the light had vanished, and the being responsible was nowhere to be seen. Of course, something obviously attacked me and disappeared. Very odd, he muttered, trying to find out who hit him. Scanning the area one last time before deciding to return to Earth, he looks down and sees there's a crater, and sees that there's a crater he's been thrown at. Damn it, I don't know how I'm gonna fix this, Richard muttered, staring at the damage he caused. His eyes flicked to a massive crater before him, a guilty sigh escaping his lips. Sorry, Moon, he said, voice tinged with concern. Before he could dwell on it any longer, he glanced back at Earth, knowing he needed to get back. A final look around him confirmed what he already knew. There was no more time for distractions. With one last lingering look at the moon's silent surface, Richard took off, flying back toward Earth, his mind racing with questions, and though he couldn't quite explain why, he felt as if he had just brushed up against something far bigger than himself, something that might be connected to the strange powers coursing through his body. Richard landed softly in the town square, the roar of the crowd hitting him all at once. His chest tightened, anxiety creeping up. The stares of dozens of people bore down on him. It felt like every eye in the crowd was drilling into him, and the pressure was almost too much to bear. One person stepped forward, their voice shaking with relief, but there was no hiding the awe in their tone. "You saved us. You're a hero, man." They stopped, almost speechless, eyes wide. What's your name? Who are you?" Richard stood there for a moment, trying to steady his breath, but the anxiety clawed at him, making it hard to focus. He stared at the ground, the words getting lost in his head. He felt small, out of place. The air was thick, his thoughts racing, and no matter how hard he tried, he couldn't seem to calm himself. Another voice broke through, more urgent, more desperate. "Yeah, who the hell are you? Where do you come from? You just saved us. What are you, some kind of superhero?" Richard squeezed his eyes shut for a second, trying to ground himself. He forced himself to look up, but the faces staring at him were too many, too close. His hands were shaking. The words weren't coming out right. His thoughts too scrambled to form something coherent. "It's Master Slayer," he muttered, almost whispering the name as if it didn't belong to him. He felt like a fraud, but I'm not some god or anything. I'm just a person like any of you." He paused, looking down, feeling the weight of their stares like 1,000 hands pushing him down. "I'm just trying to do what's right, even when it's hard, even when I don't know what the hell I'm doing." The crowd's reactions were mixed. Some nodded, their faces filled with relief, but others were still caught in the shock of the moment. The cheers rang out, but Richard could barely hear them. It was all just noise now, distant and hollow. "I'm not perfect," Richard added, his voice cracking a bit. He wiped his hand over his face, trying to hide the panic rising in his chest. "I'm just trying my best. I just want to help, okay? That's all." There was a long pause, the crowd murmuring, digesting what he had said. Richard felt his stomach turn. This was what he feared, being seen as something he wasn't. He was no hero. Hell, he didn't even know what he was doing half the time. He just acted, but this was more than he had expected. The weight of their eyes, their expectations, it was suffocating. Then from the back of the crowd, a voice cut through the tension. It was sharp, mocking, and Richard felt a familiar burn in his chest. Some hero," the woman said, her tone dripping with sarcasm. "What guy? One guy, that's it? I guess there's only one of you then? Who's next? Or are you just gonna disappear after this?" Richard's blood ran cold. His mind went blank for a second. The doubt she planted gnawed at him. He wanted to snap, to yell back, but he knew better. He could feel his anxiety bubbling up again. The last thing he needed was to let it all out in front of them. Instead, he turned, his feet already shifting to take off. No more words, no more faces, just the rush of the wind as he soared upward, escaping the pressure. His chest was tight, but he didn't stop. He needed space. He needed the space. He needed to be alone. Back home, the weight of the suit came off like a second skin, but the tightness in his chest stayed. Richard stood in front of the mirror, staring at his reflection. The cheers from earlier still echoed in his ears, but so did the doubt. The woman's voice, "Who's next?" He sat down on his bed, trying to breathe through it, but the panic lingered. The words in his head felt scrambled, hard to grasp. He had done good today, but it never felt like enough. He wasn't who they wanted him to be. Hell, he didn't even feel like a person sometimes. His mind raced. What if they were right? What if I'm just a joke? Tomorrow, he'd have to face them all again. The questions, the doubts, the expectations. He wasn't sure if he was ready, but somehow he knew he had to keep going. There was no other choice. He just didn't know how. Richard closed his eyes, trying to calm the storm inside, and whispered to himself, "I'm just trying to do the right thing." For the first time, he wasn't sure if that would be enough. Okay, hold on, pause. My voice is starting to hurt a little bit, but let's see how much I got much left to read now. Let's see. Let's scroll all the way down. Oh, okay, bet. Let's go. Almost done with part 4 of chapter 1, and then I'll be on part 5. And then, yeah. Let's continue now, guys. We're almost done. Cole sat back in his chair, staring intently at the news broadcast as the anchor's voice filled the room. The screen displayed images of Master Slayer, dark gray armor, red eyes, and the unmistakable glow of a crystal. His hands were outstretched, holding back the massive meteor, effortlessly stopping it from obliterating the town below. "A hero," Cole muttered under his breath, his brow furrowing as his gaze narrowed, fixated on the distant memory of what he had just witnessed. What the hell is this? There's no way. There can't be any heroes in this world, not after everything that's happened. happen, not after. They made sure of it. He clenched his fists, his knuckles white, his voice trembling with a mix of disbelief and anger. How could this happen? How is it even possible that someone like him, someone with no power, no meaning, could just show up and claim to be some hero? His voice grew sharper, colder, laced with frustration. Who the hell does he think he is? What right does he have? No one's supposed to be able to just fix things up without paying the price. There's always a cost. But him, what's his cost? What did he sacrifice? Cole paced back and forth, the thoughts spiraling in his mind, each one feeding the fire in his chest. There shouldn't be any hope left in this world. I've seen it all fall apart until nothing was left but dust. And now this massive slayer, he's just a symptom of a bigger lie. A lie I won't stand for, he paused, softening, then growing cold again. How did he get this power? This idea that he can change anything, change the world. There's no change in the world. I learned that the hard way. But him, he scoffed bitterly, a sneer twisting on his face. I won't let it happen. Not while I'm still breathing. The news continued, explaining how the hero had saved the town. His name, now known to all. Massive Slayer. Something caught Cole's eyes. He narrowed. He leaned closer to the screen, his gaze fixated on the figure. The crystal glowing brighter in the hero's grasp caught his attention. Is that what I think it is? Cole whispered. A dark realization sinking in as the weight of the situation became clear. His lips curled into a bitter smile. The sound of his chuckle void of any real amusement. Very interesting. He let out a slow, controlled breath, his fingers flexing into fists as the anger began to rise, simmering beneath the surface. So that's who has the crystal. They really thought they could just pass it off to someone else, someone who could be a damn hero. How utterly pathetic. His voice twisted with contempt as he continued, growing sharper, more venomous with each word. This whole charade is nothing but a joke, and now it's in the hands of a stranger, a complete nobody. He shook his head, his frustration mounting. I should have known better than to trust Glovin. After all this time, after everything, he's always 2 steps ahead, hiding things right under my nose. And that damn crystal, he thought he could keep it from me, but he doesn't know who he's dealing with. Not anymore. Cole's eyes narrowed, his jaw tightening as a malicious grin slowly spread across his face. I'll show him what happens when you try to hide things from me. He leaned back in his chair, mind racing. What if I just draw him in, make him think I'm the victim here? No, too easy. He'll see right through that, but I can play the part. Just act like it, make him come to me. His grin widened as though he'd already mapped it all. Yes, that's it. I'll make him come to me. Then we'll see who the real hero is. Cole stood up, pacing around the room, his thoughts rapid and chaotic. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, but he needed to act quickly. The crystal, the powers, the ridiculous hero. He needed answers. He couldn't afford to wait. His steps carried him toward the door. The cold air hit him like a slap as he stopped outside, a chill sleeping through his clothes. He looked up, eyes scanning the sky as Master Slayer full ahead, a dark figure against the dying light of the setting sun. The hero moved slowly, carefully picking up the breeze from the wreckage below. Cole's eyes gleamed with cold, unwavering determination, his grip tightening, and he whispered to himself, his voice low but filled with dark conviction. Yes, that's him. I'll wait. He'll come to me, and when he does, I'll be ready. Cole's mind twisted, formulating a plan, each thought more dangerous than the last. This is the real world, not some damn fairy tale. Glovin thinks he can control everything, keep me in the dark. No, I'll find out everything he's hiding. And then a dark laugh bubbled up from his chest. I'll rip those powers from his hands for good. He looked back at Master Slayer still flying high above, seamlessly unaware of the storm gathering below. Cole's grin remained filled with malice. But first I need to know everything, and that starts with you, Master Slayer. With a final glance at the sky, Cole melted into the shadows, his eyes never leaving the figure above. You'll see. You'll all see what happens when you mess with the wrong person. There'll be no escape this time. Okay, let's go. I'm now done with part 4 of chapter 1. Okay, that was awesome. But like I said, I will give my thoughts when I'm done with chapter 1, like reading all of chapter 1. But yeah, for now, part 4 was very great. I really liked it a lot. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream off here, guys. But before I do, I will do part 5 probably tomorrow, or probably sometime next week, hopefully. But yeah, my voice kind of hurts a little bit, so I'll probably be taking a break for like a couple days. But I will continue reading when my voice gets back. My voice recovers from reading. But yeah, for now I'm so ready to finish chapter 1. But yeah, I'm gonna end the stream off here. Please like, comment, share, and subscribe, and have you